Nice to be back with you once again for another video clip. Okay, so we're doing these, business clips, entrepreneur clips, and they really sort of they help me as well to get back into what I'm doing and in my business. I was asked, so what are you doing in this? Why, what do you intend to do by doing, these things, these clips? So one of them that really helped me more than anybody else, actually, because getting back into work and business and evaluating everything again into this type of mindset, as in business and entrepreneurship. It takes someone to get the ball rolling, and takes things to get the ball rolling. Sometimes you need something to get you up and going, and get the mindset into gear. So it's good to know what is out there. You need to sort of see what is out there, and this will also help get us on track into what's expected, what is expected out there. Another thing is as how it would help me, as in my business. So if in my business I need to advertise, remember we said we need to market and we need to sell, but this all comes back to myself as well. Okay, so in business you need to market and sell. You've got a product, you've got an excellent product, and it's time to sell it. Okay, so I've got a business that's coming up, a food business that's coming up. I've got, for example, I might have this, or whatever it is, and someone may have this, and they're selling it. We need to market it. You need to tell everyone, hey guys, you need maximum exposure. Okay, you need maximum exposure, draw everyone's attention, say, hey guys, I'm doing this is what I'm doing, and I'd like to you need to invite everyone to what you are doing or to your product. So this is another thing that it helps me in getting back on track. I did mention a few things, about wrong advice. People let you down, and people will hold you down, and people dislike it. So there is envious people out there. Sometimes it's the close. It could be the family. It could be the neighbor or the friend or someone else. Even a good friend that you actually partnered with, and initially it was a good idea, and then it went sour later on. And sometimes money and status and stuff like this, it gets in between, and it gets sour. It goes sour. So you got to be careful of this. Some things, so being envious or envious people, this is a big problem when people are successful. They will be in their path. They will stop them. They will, a person will be subject to all this type of challenges. But there is completely wrong advice. So these are couple of things just be mindful of. Look at the person you're talking to or you're partnering with. We don't look at the partners sometimes. We're just so happy that, this is, working for me, and it looks good or it sounds good on the surface. But, later on, because it wasn't looked into well enough, future plans and intentions and stuff like this, or the person might be rotten. Therefore, the whole deal or your partnership in that business becomes rotten and becomes sour. Therefore, it splits and causes a big problem. And it's like a hindrance in the path. Like, you just don't want this problem. You don't need this problem. You didn't need this problem, but it will come along. So there is wrong advice. There is completely wrong advice. People, that is giving the wrong advice completely. Then there is bad advice. Someone is advising, but he's not a person worthy of giving the advice. He doesn't know anything about your trade. He doesn't know anything about Nivea. For example, I've got this here. So he doesn't know anything about Nivea. He's not giving advice, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, and then there is, of course, sound and good advice. Someone who knows something about business, and he knows, or she may know someone in that field or whatever it is. Maybe they don't know anything about the product or the food, maybe my restaurant or Nivea or whatever it is, the bike you're selling, the bike club or whatever. But they can tell you generally about business. They can say, well, business works like this, and normally you need to start up costs, and there are hidden costs, and there are these, and then you need your margins, and someone can tell you like this. They're a business-orientated person, but they may not know the actual industry itself. And then there is someone who has got that expertise. Next to him, the sound and good advice, there is actually the expertise who's actually in the industry, well-versed, experienced, knows what she is talking about, he is talking about, experience living it, still got 30 years, 20 years, whatever it is, experience in this industry, or, in dealing with these clients or this type of mindset or field. Okay, so this is the type of thing we need to be aware of. So when you sit down and we look at a business structural plan, or we've got working on something, we're very ambitious, and we're obsessed in something. It's good to do something that you're obsessed in. And how actually is when you wake up in the morning. What's the first thing you would like in the morning? What would you like every morning if you wake up? What's the thing you would think about in a delightful way, in a good way? What drives you that morning? Okay, And this is one way you would know what it's taken you, what you're inclined to, what you would like normally to do. If you'd wake up in the morning and you'd like to do this thing, that's when you'll know. Because when you're most sound, when you're on sort of neutral, is when you wake up. When you wake up, you're sort of in a neutral type of state. Okay, so there, your inclination there is good. It's not, there's no actual bias that's taking you anywhere in that morning time. So, but anyway, everyone's different. I mean, don't base it just on this, but I'm saying if you're driven, this is one way. It's a good way to know this. Of course, don't base it on just waking up in the morning. So, I don't want to give you bad advice. So, but this is just one of the things that you know what you really like. Okay, so but apart from that, get the good advice, get at least good advice, and if you can get expertise advice, that's excellent. And similarly in partnerships, look at who you're partnering with. What do they want out of it, and what you want out of it, and not just momentarily or just on the surface, on the onset, but you want to. Okay, what are we looking down the track? 1 year, 2 years, 10 years. Where do you want to go with this? Because they might say something today, but it might change tomorrow as well. Okay. It may change later on down the track. So something might come up. They may get married. They may get divorced. They may have a child. They may have a miscarriage. They may get rich. You may have financial difficulties. You may have things change. People lose their ambition. They got the ambition at the start. They really wanted this, but 3-4 years down the track, I found something more ambitious. I was partnered up with somebody else, and that's more of a moneymaker, and that's just more good. And we've hit jackpot with this, and I've got to spend more time with my wife. Now this one's taken more, and everyone's got their reasons. Everyone is. So we have to be mindful of this. So good and sound advice is really good, and expertise advice is excellent. You can't go wrong with that as well. Be sure to take some of that expertise advice, but beware of the envious people. Beware of the envious people who will drag you down and will hurt you in your in your journey trying to work your business, or you're a sole trader, or you've got a company. And they'll hurt it because of their ill will towards you, or because you're doing successful things. So these are the things we'll touch on right now. Thank you for everybody shouting out. I think it's everyone. I'm still shouting out to everyone. I'm writing to everyone. I'm trying to get everybody. There's the guys in the UFC. There's other people in other sports, and people in business, food business, and other personalities. And so on. But we'll keep working on this, and be sure to have a good day. And we'll touch soon.